Rafael. If you guys have a hard time saying Tiago, you guys can call me James, which is my American name. When we
Tiago,
translated, yeah,
Tiago.
yeah. And I was at the Christmas party. It was my first time with you guys. I met Gloria, Eddie, and I believe it was Billy in there also, and all of the
Thank you,
rest of
Matt.
you guys in here. I don't know yet, but I make sure I will know everybody very soon. I work in the moving industry, okay? Have a moving company here in South San Francisco, and yeah, pleasure to join you guys today.
We're so happy that you're part of our group. You're terrific and dynamic. So we look forward to many years with you.
Thank
And
you.
you'll get to know a lot of these folks. Hopefully we'll have more and more people joining us, but we have like a minute. Does anyone want to say something before we get the meeting kicked off here?
Oh no, I just I'm back in Houston, but I heard from Ed what happened, Gloria. But to be honest, I think it's gonna work out just fine for you. I know you pretty well, and I know how hard you work, so I don't think it's gonna be an issue. I have noticed from my perspective that there have been a lot of layoffs of older people. So there is some sort of ageism that has been happening in company workforces. I've talked to my friends around, and
Totally.
in layoffs, they tend to be older. Just something that I noticed in myself. So it might also just be that, which is kind of unfortunate because older people tend to have the most experience. So, but
The,
And the
the
higher
kicker
salaries.
is that there was no discrimination. There were people that were like 27 that were let go.
uh,
So
okay.
it was all different age groups. It's
Well,
just it's one of those unfortunate things, but nothing I can do except move
Gloria,
forward.
Gloria, was it just the West Coast that got hit, or the whole company?
No, the entire country.
Oh my God. Well, they're reducing employment, right?
Well, and
Yeah.
off reducing office use, at home, people working at home are going to be reflected and correlated based on, you don't have office use anymore, so you're not going to need the office for
Yeah,
things.
exactly. Wow.
Also, a problem with math that a lot of companies have where they don't actually do the math properly, and they look at the chunk of their income going to payroll, and they go, "Oh, big chunk. Let's cut 10% of that big chunk." But what they're not doing is they're not doing. If we lay off 10% of a
Excuse
20%
me.
chunk, what we've just done is 2%, which is obliterated by sales in any given week. So the whole concept of laying off 10% of your people, which only gets you a net of 2% savings, but hampers your ability to serve your clientele by 10%. So you
No
lose more
doubt.
clientele, so
It,
you lose more people, so you lose more clientele, so you lay off more people. That is called a death spiral.
Yep.
it's an interesting phenomenon that a lot of companies, everything is predicated by who is at the helm, who is steering the ship, who has a broader vision of not just here, but scoping out not only 1 to 2 years out, but 5 years out. Those are the phenomenal people that make phenomenal companies, that make phenomenal decisions, that bring in the revenue that is generated, that is needed to have the stability to move it from a good company to a great company. And so thank you, Ian. That is very truthful what you say because they're trying to save their jobs. That's it,
Mm-hmm.
period. And they're
Corporate
trying
life.
to look and they're trying to, it's a temporary band-aid solution to make their report to Wall Street look okay for the end of the year.
Mhm.
And then, they have to report up to Berkshire Hathaway too, which is a Warren Buffett company. So, I
Oh
mean, it's
wow.
his holding company. So there you are. Anyway,
If you will look at any interviews anybody can catch of a guy named Zach Brown, who's the CEO of McLaren, is a beautiful example of a turnaround that went from almost bankruptcy maybe 2 years ago. And he has turned McLaren around in 2 years. And if he had to come up with one word for how he did it, relationships.
that's what it's all about.
And understanding that is how he's built an incredible team. They just won the constructors championship
Wow.
this year in F1, and last year they were in last place.
Amazing.
You know, you put hard work, people that believe, right? People that believe they can do it, they see the vision, and it collides with that opportunity, and wonderful things happen. That's just business 101. You know, opportunity colliding with luck. And that is business, period. Anyway, we're going to launch this.
Before
Um,
you
I-
before you do, I'm sorry to interrupt. I did not want to miss you guys today, but I have a client who needs me. I'm about 2 minutes late to the appointment. I'm sitting out in front of his office, so I just wanted to make sure I said hello. Sorry I couldn't make the Christmas dinner, and I wish you everybody here the most wonderful rest of the year. And Gloria, change is okay, and you're going to wind up better off than you were. Love you guys.
Thank
I
you.
see.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas, Stefan.
Thank you.
Okay, here we go. Launching. So what our topic of discussion is this morning is that we are getting ready for 2025, which is so exciting. So many good changes on the forefront, and everyone's excited to add to their 401k or whatever it is you add to, good health, all of the above. And we're winding down 24. And so we have a mystery guest, not a mystery guest, he's a mystery speaker. And so all of you know him and we all love him dearly. Mark, take it.
Okay, thank you, Gloria, and welcome everybody. We're going to be talking about 2025, and some of you have come to many of the sessions that I hold in our office to help our business owner clients and prospective clients and networking partners talk about 2025. We do most of these in September because I believe that you need to have your business plan in place by the end of September. It takes 90 days to make any significant changes in what you're already doing, and you may not need to make a lot of significant changes. A lot of times I see that your focus just needs to be a little bit different. Once you know your actual numbers, then it makes it easier to figure it out. So think about this. How many clients did you get last year? What was the revenue from each client? And then how many prospective client meetings did you have, right? So thinking about that, how you get to that number is really just a little bit of pretty easy math where you say, okay, listen, I got to see 10 prospective clients for one of them to hire me this year. That might be a situation. And typically, what is the revenue per client that you get? And then let's just shoot for typical. And if you're not getting enough of the quality referrals, then it's education to your partners about what really makes a difference for you. Like I can help a few people without charge doing a few things, and Gloria is a glutton for this kind of punishment. But there's only so many of those you can do, and let your people know that you have quite a few of those already. And if they're not moving offices in the next 12 months, you kind of need some things going on in the next 12 months. If they're 36 months out, well, sure, I can meet with them, but I'm not going to be measuring the hallway or anything like that, right? So when you're on the airplane, what does the safety person known as the airline steward or stewardess, what do they tell you about that dang oxygen mask?
Get that off first.
You put your mask on first. You are not good to the people around you, especially the younger ones or the older ones, without your mask on first. And I'm going to be a little greedy here and quite honest with you and say you have to think about your financial, mental health well being before you think about anyone else. Even before I worry about my mother, I take care of myself and my goals first because that allows me to help her out with her mental health and her financial resources if she needed it, right? But if I'm over helping people now and I end up in a bad spot with my mental health or my finances, then I'm not really going to be helping anyone moving forward, right? So right now we're going to work on Q2, 3, and 4 because Q1's already done, in my opinion. You're only about gosh, 15 days from Q1. What huge difference are you going to make in your business in 2 weeks, right? Probably not a lot. But maybe you don't need to make that many big changes. So we start off with something that's been extremely important since we were owned by American Express. We focus on what we call Woody Woofy. And many of you may have memorized this thing already. But at the end of this, you're going to get a link to 5 videos that the inventor, if you will, of the "What Do You Want for Yourself" Woody Woofy completed, and they're on YouTube, and they're great to watch, especially the first one. But he walks you through a lot of that stuff. So, of course, we know. When you're writing down your goals, you're 10 times more likely to achieve them, right? And I know some of you manifest and some of you talk to yourself in the mirror in the morning and all that stuff. And I tell you what, many people say, be careful what you say because it'll come true, right? Oh, I'm tired today. No, you're not. I am full of energy today. I'm too busy to get to the gym. No, I have exactly the amount of time that I need to go to the gym and have a hot tea afterwards. What you tell yourself is going to be reality, right? So, writing those goals down, and I love to tell people to put pictures of things that are goal related on the bathroom mirror. In my case, I seem to put them on the refrigerator. I go in the refrigerator a lot. But those pictures are a reminder. Some people put them on the door going out of the house, put them on the back of the front door. Other people I know, like Deborah, who might be in their car a lot, they tape them to their dashboard. Okay. My mom did that when she was a real estate appraiser in the early 90s. She would tape little reminders to her dashboard. And it was hilarious when the homeowner would be waiting for us to come out to the inspection and they come out to her car to say hello and they're like, "What the heck do you have all these pieces of paper on your dashboard?" And she says, "Well, these things are goal related, right?" I see some of you having a hard time looking at this. So, right. So your goals. What are your family, children, parents, and spouse goals? Why is it important? If it's not important enough for you to change your behavior next year, don't fill it out. Literally just drop it off. If you're not going to change anything, then don't focus on it. Maybe you'll get around to it another year. What are the key activities that you've got to do that, and when are you going to do it? The best answer to when am I going to do it is today. Okay, you didn't do it yesterday, dang it, and tomorrow's like sloughing it off into the future where you may not. Today is the best time to do it. And then we talk about readiness level. I think he uses like a number of 1 through 5 or something like that. How ready are you to start achieving, enjoying, this goal. If it's a little too early, give it a 1. If you're ready right now, give it a 5 or whatever number makes sense to you, right? So, friends are important. I get a lot of business from friends on accident. I try not to be in my profession when I'm hanging out with people because they start asking embarrassing questions in public, and I'm not a fan of that. But friends, what are your goals with your friends? You're going to spend more time with them. You're going to spend less time with them. You're not going to hang out with the friends at the bar anymore and hang out with the friends at the gym. What is it that you're going to be doing with friends? Your health and exercise, of course, very important. 10,000 steps or whatever thing you follow. Traveling, community. As you know, I'm involved in about 14 organizations. It's easy for me. People tell me all the time, gosh, Mark, how do you have time for all that? Well, all the organizations are mainly involving a meal, number one. So I have to eat at least one meal per day part, right? Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So the majority of my organizations are involved around a meal or they're involved around community service. So a couple of weeks ago, we went out to the Solano um, animal thing, Solano SPCA, and we trimmed and raked all of the weeds and the leaves up and down the major road near where they walk the dogs. The volunteers come and walk the dogs. I'm not walking dogs, not my thing. Don't need to do that kind of thing, but I know how to work a weed eater and a rake and a shovel. And so my mom and I got out there at 7 a.m. with about 30 other volunteers, and we started at the corner and we just went as long as till the old people got tired. And then after that, we went and had some nice coffee and snacks and that sort of thing. A lot of fun. What else am I doing at 7 a.m. on Saturday? I might as well get out there and volunteer. And I felt really good doing that kind of community thing. I volunteer at the senior center the last Tuesday of every month. It's part of my schedule. It's there. Prospective client and client meetings are a different time. You will not see me at 2 o'clock on the last Tuesday of any month. I've been volunteering there for about 15 years. You're not going to be able to schedule a meeting there, right? Hobbies are important. A little bit of time to diffuse. One of my major hobbies is wine tasting. I probably don't do as much of that. I'm more into wine drinking now. I kind of have the wines I like, and I just go visit the place that I often go visit. I love Satui up there in whatever it is, Napa somewhere, but it's like a different name. But anyways, purchase, house, car, college for children, grandchildren. What is something that you want to purchase? How long do you have to purchase that? How much money per week or per month do we need to set aside in what kind of an account to make that purchase happen? Don't let your favorite grandchild turn 17 without having a stack of money there for them. I have a client that put away $50 a month for his godchild, and now he's got enough money to pay for one semester for that godchild, and the parents don't even know. He never told them what he was doing. $50 a month into a 529 plan, and he's got enough for one semester, so it could be pretty small. Any other things that you're going to focus on? Next is self-development. Um, the focus here, what do Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, and Steve Jobs have in common? They all said their biggest factor for success is focus. You've just got to focus on what these items are, and you don't need to focus on 20. Most people barely have the brain power and time to focus on 5. In fact, Warren Buffett says focus on the top 5. You can have as many as you want, but you really only have the brain power to focus on maybe 2 or 3. I don't see normal people being able to focus on 5 that much. But here again, personal development for you, education, licenses, and that sort of thing. We all have them. Just the other day, somebody said, "Hey, Mark, did you do your CE yet?" And I said, "I did my CE the day after the window came open." Okay, it's on the calendar. I know when it is. It just goes on the calendar. We all have the same time in life. My time's not any more important than anyone else's. I just schedule my time. Everything on my schedule. My dentist appointment is there. My staff knows when I'm going to the dentist. Everything is on that calendar. What things do you need to do for health? What do you want to learn about? Spiritual connections and that sort of thing. Relaxing and enjoying life and any other things you might want to stick in there. And then your business goals. This is, of course, my favorite. It's kind of the whole reason of doing this. I'm not going to be very helpful in everything we talked about before this. But when I'm talking about business goals, you got to think about, okay, my goal is to, let's say I want to net $100,000. And I use $100,000 because it's an easy number to use. If you want to net 500, fine. You just multiply what we're talking about by 5. So if you were to want to have $100,000 in sales times 44 divided by 44 working weeks. Why do I say 44 working weeks? Nobody should work 52. If your manager or somebody else says, oh, let's divide it by 52. No, I'm working 44 at most. I'm in charge of what's going on here. I'm only working 44 weeks. So $100,000 divided by 44 weeks is $2,272 per week that you've got to bring in, right? If you divide that by 20 working hours per week, because you can only bill for 20 hours, okay? You got to do marketing and all of that other stuff for the other. That's $113 per hour. Now, if you go up to 500,000, that's $565 an hour. You have to think in your head, is what I'm doing right now worth $565 an hour? If it's not, you probably should hire somebody. And there's quite a few people that will work for less than $565 an hour, right? If you really want to net, if you want to net $500,000 and you get 50% of your revenue at the bottom of your Schedule C, then you need to charge $2,260 an hour. If your Schedule C is 50% of your gross, in order for you to net 500,000 for you. Now, some of you I know have a higher net. Maybe you have only 20% overhead and you have an 80% net. I'm glad to go through these numbers with you one-on-one, and we can take a look at your specific situation for 2023 and possibly 2024 to help you develop your goals for 2025. 25 is the year for everybody. I think 25 is going to be full of exciting, awesome changes. And those of us that are ready to take that on are going to do really, really well. And I just remember how 2008, 9, and 10 went. It was awesome for our business. We had some of the largest amounts of flows coming into the business than we've had in a long time. When people were supposedly going to cash and they were supposedly selling their stocks, no, we had a lot of consolidation going on. We had a lot of optimistic people that said, hey, now is the time to buy, prices are cheap, and that sort of thing. So thinking about referrals, we try to work really hard Q1, 2, 3, which is 39 weeks. If you need 120 referrals in order to get 12 clients, then you need 3 fresh meetings on your calendar, okay? If you sell 1 out of 10, you've got to get 3 fresh meetings. Now, I don't know if 12 new clients in a year is enough for you or not. That's something we have to figure out how that works, but everybody's got their number. I love talking about these goals here. What do you want to avoid? We literally use this entire exercise with every single new employee that ever came to work with us for the past 22 years, and it's really amazing. My thought when I joined the company was I wanted to avoid running out of money. I've one of the biggest fears I've ever had. I'm an oversaver. I'm always concerned about some crisis. Growing up on a dairy farm, we had the bank take our dairy farm from us twice. My grandfather had to file bankruptcy. He didn't know how to read the contracts. He's got a 6th grade education. He didn't understand what a balloon payment was. When he went and tried to refi for the balloon payment, of course, values were down. He couldn't get an appraisal high enough. And the bank just took the farm, the cows, the trucks, my grandmother's silverware, everything. It's not legal to do that now, but in those days it was. So, what do you want to be thought of as far as your legacy? I think this is a really awesome thing to think about. What do you want people to say at your funeral? Is kind of a icky way of putting it, but I think it's important to understand that from people. What do they want to be known for their legacy? And then your social life. I don't really have one because I've tied it to work, right? Almost all of my socializing is tied to my networking and my wine drinking or what have you. But some people do, many doctors, for example, like people don't know that they're actually a doctor because in their social life they don't want to talk to you about your cough. Okay, they really don't. So maybe you're open in your social life about your business, and maybe you're not. Where do you want to live? The time to think about that is right now, because oftentimes we have people buy a suitable rental property in the location that they want to retire in and have it as a rental property for now and get lots of juicy tax deductions. And then when they're ready, they move into that rental property as owner occupied in retirement, and they're not having to buy a property at current values. Instead, they're just moving into one that they already had. And it makes it a lot easier to rent out their previous owner occupied property, and you kind of have a little pension coming from the previous property, right? And having a passion about something. In my case, it's educating children about finances. I'm very involved with junior achievement. One of the reasons why I became a financial planner is the financial planner came to our seventh grade math class through junior achievement and taught us how to buy a car. She taught us how to open a checking account. She taught us all of these really amazing life skills. And so I do that to this day. I go to the Junior Achievement website. I've already passed all my tests and fingerprinted and everything else. And I get to pick classes from their website that I volunteer for in person or virtually. And it's just amazing being out there with the kids and talking to them about the things that they can do and opening up their mind to all the possibilities that they have. So then it finally boils down into these five things. Um, Sometimes you'll hear me say these are BHAG goals, big, hairy, audacious goals. If you're not going to dream big, then what are you doing? This is not the time to be realistic because your brain's not helping you out. Okay, realistic is not for now. Big, hairy, audacious goals, right? And really, with a little bit of focus, you can make that happen. We had a new financial planner come to us, and after a couple of years, she was probably doing about $200,000 in revenue, which is pretty good for a new financial planner. This year, she will probably finish the year at $1.1 million in her third year, right? With the right coaching and the right mentorship, you can achieve things that you never knew were possible. But we got to think about it a little bit. We got to write it down. We've got to do activities that lead towards that. The current activities that you're doing are probably not, unfortunately, enough, or they're not the right kind of activities. Read the book, Never Eat Lunch Alone, right? That's why I eat lunch 3 times a day. There's really something special that happens when you share a beverage or a meal with somebody. It's really, really special. And I'm going to have a margarita with Debbie Lindsay out there at the Taco Bell. I keep saying I'm going to do it, but I don't want to do it in the rain now because I only go out there to the Taco Bell in Pacifica on bright, amazing Sunday. I used to drive from Sacramento when I was poor to eat at that Taco Bell. And I would load up the neighborhood kids. Some of them had never been to the beach. And we would go out to that Taco Bell and spend almost the whole day. We brought a little bit of food with us, and we did have a little bit of food at Taco Bell. And it was one of the most amazing experiences to go out there to that Taco Bell. Now, I'm lucky I can eat almost anywhere I want at this point, but that Taco Bell has some sentimental value. So I'm going to send this to our invitation today. I really want you to watch these YouTube videos here. The first one is overall about the Woody Woofy, and then the next five things talk about the individual steps that you need to take towards that. And if you're not strategically working on your business plan, you're actually helping someone else with theirs. Okay? Let that sink in for a minute. If you're not a homeowner, you're paying someone else's mortgage. I don't mean to be rude or disrespectful. You don't have to own a house, but it you got to think about it. And I remember telling an engineer who was referred to me by our real estate agent Fatima. No, other way around. Sorry. I referred him to her. But when we were meeting, I said, "Can you prove to me that you're not capable of buying a house?" And he said, "Oh yeah, that's easy. I've talked to several mortgage people, and the my price range is not the kind of house I want." And I'm like, "Okay, so talk to my mortgage person, right?" Well, lo and behold, the mortgage would be almost the same as his new rent was going to be at this crappy apartment in Martinez. I mean, he just had a rundown, nasty apartment. I never went there, but he told me it was nasty and run down. So for about the same amount of money that he was paying in rent, he got a 4 bedroom, 2 bath house that did not need any repairs, and it really changed the family's entire life. His sister was able to move in with him with her kid. She was able to go back to nursing school. I mean, just changing this family's life because he could not prove to me that it was a bad idea. And you can work engineers into numbers, and they'll just be putty in your hands. When you start talking numbers to them and you prove your point with numbers, it's a done deal, right? So I think I went on there for a little bit, but does anyone have any questions about business planning or any something that you want to ask me?
I'll just make a comment. Great presentation, Mark, and appropriate time of year for that too. I mean, this is work, but it sets you up for the next 12 months. So kudos to you for doing that. Can we get copies of those forms?
He's
Yeah,
going to
I'll
send
send
them.
it out.
Send
Wonderful.
it via
Deborah,
the email that Ed, the invite that Ed sends out. That way everybody can pull it from there. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Who was in the class last year? Was it Deborah? Were you there?
I was there.
I think
I
you
was
gave
there.
this presentation last year.
I did, but it was in person at
Oh, I
a
think you gave
cafe.
this. I feel like I've seen you do this before.
Oh, it's possible. I rarely do it online. I really
Hmm.
don't like doing it online. It's not quite the same because I like for people to be working on it while we're meeting together and we have food and stuff. And to come out of the meeting with a rough draft, I think is pretty impactful. But Ed may have talked me into doing it online. And of course, this time he asked, I was like, yeah, sure, fine. I feel bad because I didn't have any room for BNG people this year. All of our September meetings were just completely full with clients.
That's good.
Thank you, Mark.
So,
As
yeah,
always, we appreciate that for sure, for sure. So, what we're going to do now is we're going to introduce ourselves, and then we're also going to let everyone know what you are going to do for the holidays, which is really a cool thing, whether you're going to do nothing or you're going to go somewhere or whatever, or if you plan to take a vacay. And then one thing that you already have focused to launch yourself in 2025. Okay. So I'm giving all of you guys a little bit of thought process. And I think probably one of the most, there were many things that were important that Mark reviewed. But if you want this to happen, you have to write it down. If you don't write it down, it's not going to happen. And so, and then I also was reading, write down 5 goals. You got to dream big. I love that. Don't put limits on what you want. And then it's a good idea to redo your goals, the top 5 every few months. And I know that's very difficult for a lot of people because they think that they need to be set on that path. But we all know as business professionals, things shift and change as we're moving through the process. So if something's working great for you, run with it for sure.
Thanks,
And
Mark. I just dropped that marketing event in the chat.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. All right. So
By
I'm
the
going to
way,
go.
I saw
I'm going
that
to go.
Mark, I think you're still sharing your desktop. Um, but the LinkedIn article that he was clicking on is basically, as far as this goals things go, if you just go goal, 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 it's kind of like climbing a tree. You can wind out on this branch and okay, now what do I do? And you have to go back to the trunk, and then you start off and you go to up out another branch, and you have to go back to the trunk. So the concept of having a vision of where you want everything to be at a certain time, say 3 to 5 years, and then reverse engineer what is that? What do I need to do daily, weekly, monthly, whatever, to make that a reality? And then those reverse engineered things become your goals. So you don't ever have to, like, if you want to reorder the priorities and whatnot, you can bounce around with those construction lines leading to your vision. And you can also
Ian
butterfly.
brings up a good point. I'm not the vision guy because there's like no math involved in vision. So that's like before you get to the Woody Woofy. That's like definitely Ian's thing, and go to him or someone like him for that. I can't deal with visions because it totally doesn't make sense to me. I think differently, but I know when you get your vision clear, it makes the Woody Woofy really, really easy.
Exactly. Then I can throw them back to Mark to do the goal setting.
All right. Beautiful. Thank you. So put your thoughts in the chat, Ian, because it's important. I love what you just said. Because you have to have a vision of what you want, but then you have to put together a roadmap. And all Mark was doing is putting a line by line item of a roadmap to get to the overall concept thought and then go down the path of reaching it, because we all want to reach it. If we have 5 goals and we reach 2, we're going to be on top of the world. That's just the way it is. And because we're all in sales, we all want that big W. When we get the W, we all feel good. Yay, I'm doing something right. Whoa. Okay. So, tell us what you're going to do for the holidays, and one thing you're going to launch immediately in 2025. And we're going to keep this like we're going to end at 9 o'clock. But in any event, Ian, you're first in my queue. So you launch it, keep it narrow, but tell us your thoughts.
Cool. Well, going to continue on the studies because I am doing a ton of studying on successful high performance CEOs and how and what they do, going right into the linguistics, the micro expression, behavioral analysis, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm going to finally get to all the B's on my to-do list that have been ignored while I'm on these A1, 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 A1 all year long. So taking a break, going to do the B's, like do the intonation on all my guitars and things like that.
And what are you doing for the holidays?
That's what I'm going to do for the holidays.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. Oh, hey, whatever works. I love it. I love it. And then you're launching 25. What's the one thing you're going to do in 25 that you already know is going to work for you?
I'm getting my essential 10 minutes journaling technique that has worked really, really well one-on-one with clients. And I'm doing is putting together a 6-week online course. So anybody can go do it at any time, and I don't need to be personally involved, but I can help them. So I'll set up a Facebook group for people to ask questions and stuff like that. But getting this concept of basing everything in your life on the why, as Simon Sinek would say, and getting it all into what is my purpose, what is my vision, what is my dream, and what are the logical, practical things I need to do to make that a reality. So it winds you through this 10-minute process.
Knock it out of the park. I love it. Deborah, you're up next and you're on mute.
Okay. So since we have some new people that I haven't been able to one-to-one with, and I want to, I'm Deborah Lindsay. My company is Appraisal Enterprises, and I specialize in residential real estate appraisal and consultation services throughout most of the Bay Area, hit and miss up in Sacramento, which is where I started my career. And basically, wherever time allows for me to go. These days, I have a little more time than others. I'd love to do a one-to-one with some of our new people. So let's plan that for right in the new year would be great. Also for this holiday season, first I'm going to work right up to Christmas bartending at the Embassy Suites, which is absolutely fabulous. I get to be center of a new party every day. And as most of you who know me know, that's my wheelhouse. So Christmas morning, I'll get up and ride the sleigh up to Sacramento and finally get to see the family. My mom's been stuck in Palm Springs on medical recovery, waiting for insurance authorization. Actually, she's been recovered, but the whole insurance industry and waiting for the test to be approved and all this and that, she's not waiting anymore. She's coming home. So I'll get to spend a few days in Sacramento with the family. And obviously, my manifested goal is I'm going to find the next perfect roommate, not a perfect roommate, but I've manifested perfect roommates. It seems to be relatively easy for me. Yay, just like a parking spot. So I put it out in the universe, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see who's coming next. Happy holidays, everyone. It's so great to be with you again. It seems like it's been too long since we've been able to be together. And of course, Mark, as usual, you're the bomb. Love you.
Thank you, Deborah. Stacy, you are next in my queue. Let's rock. Let's go.
Okay, I'm Stacy Tentry and I'm a professional organizer. My particular niche with organizing is digital organizing and virtual organizing. I am also, one thing I'm doing this year for sure is I'm taking the second foundation course that's going to lead to ICF coaching certification. So I know like there's a lot of coaches out there, but I have a particular vision of the type of coach that I want to be and what I want to share with people. And I feel like this is the foundation to get me there. I'm also still in love with organizing. So there's a lot of things that I'm working on. The next 2 weeks, I'm going to spend the holidays local and planning my strategy for 2025, because right now it's just like all over the place. And I'm like laser focused that on paper. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you so much. Awesome. All right. Mark, you're next in my queue. But you're on mute. Okay.
Yeah, I'm the one trying to pinpoint everybody when when they're talking. I'm not quite so good. So, hi everyone. Mark Porter, your local financial planner for 22 years here at Ameriprise. I mainly focus at this stage of my career in working with financial planners to build out their succession planning. A lot of times planners don't plan for themselves. And so that's a lot of the work that I've been doing lately. We're working on a few practice acquisitions for next year, which will really work out well, and really excited. Many of you know Andrew in my office. I promoted him to a full partner about 3 weeks ago. And that's the major part of 2025 is having Andrew do some of the work that I used to do. So I don't need to do that work anymore. And I can be more strategic about that. So that's really exciting for us. It's not that common for an admin person to be promoted into full partnership at a law firm, CPA firm, and especially a financial planning firm, a little more popular in financial planning firms, but really excited. You'll see Andrew a little more often, maybe. For the holidays, we don't really celebrate Christmas at all. So we will be down in San Diego, and I will be stopping on my way back to see all my family members in Bakersfield. That'll be a lot of fun. Thank you.
Sounds like fun. Jonathan, it's awesome to see you.
It's good to be here. I've been busy. This is, from sort of October to about now is really a crazy time of year for me in terms of professionally. It's just very, very busy. I'm Jonathan Katz. My business is Liberty Credit Card Solutions. we're a payment provider for businesses anywhere in the US. Over the break, going down to Florida to see my in-laws. I also have a friend's wedding down there as well, which I'm looking forward to. Thinking about 2025, it's a funny thing. 2024 was really professionally a tremendous year for us. And it's hard to really understand the why. Like if you ask me, well, I can see we got these accounts, that's the why. But what do we do to get those accounts in particular is a tougher issue to sort of tweeze out why. I often wrestle with that every year. I'm optimistic about 2025 professionally, and I plan to find another chess coach, which I have not had one for maybe a year and a half. So there's a grandmaster out there that I'm sure will get a new student next year.
I love it. I love it. Love it. Love it. Okay. Diego, you are up. Good morning.
Tiago, it's me, right? Hey, everybody. I'm Tiago. I'm running a moving business company here in South San Francisco. Okay, for about like 8 years, 6 years, 8 years. The moving company it's before me in here already, 12 years. Okay, and for for this end of the year, I will have my mother-in-law here. So she just let me know yesterday, Tiago, I'm coming. She's coming from Brazil. She'll be here. And now I need to find out what I'm gonna do with her. I will find. I'm assuming that I will be taking her to Lake Tahoe. Maybe it's like her second time here. But I believe she never been Lake Tahoe, so I will take her there. And it's going to be fun for sure. And end of the year, I will try to stay a little more home without like I want to relax, trying to just turn off my mind and stay doing nothing. That's the goal. I want to do nothing. And for the new year, I'm planning to get married with my fiance next year for the
Congratulations. Wonderful.
for the personal life and for the business life, just improving the company. I have a new package that I'm gonna launch in the moving industry. How we gonna do this is I will just launch a different way how to do moves. I'm dying that down. I'm putting the numbers. I'm structuring that, and I will be launching this next year. So this is my big goal about the moving industry, trying to bring this innovation into the moving industry. That's it,
And
guys.
and oh, by the way, Diego is our newest BNG member. So everybody welcome Diego. Yay. We're happy that
Guys,
you are
Put your
here.
info in the chat too, so we all have it.
Yes.
I will.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okie doke. All right. Russell, you are up. Front and center. You're on mute.
Got it. Russell Jackman, Computer Consulting Services. I help take over where Control Alt Delete leaves off. And I guess some of you know that I had a major shoulder injury and a shoulder replacement, my right shoulder replacement, just a little, actually, it was a month ago today. So, and I'm recovering well from that, but my pathway really goes along getting that shoulder fixed and normal again. So that's my main focus. And then a week before my shoulder surgery, I was told by my landlord where I've been living for 12 years that I got to move. So I've got to deal with that. So those are my main two challenges. Meanwhile, I just want to keep working with Linked Local Marin and doing our events there every month on the first Tuesday in San Rafael at the Linked Local Marin Lodge. And we are having one first Tuesday of January if you guys want to attend. And I'm going to be working with a lot of people to replace their Windows 10 machines with Windows 11 machines, or if they want some other operating system like Linux or Mac, to move them over to a different system. So that's mainly my goals for 2025, and of course, taking care of my kids and making sure they handle the moving transition as easily as possible because they'll be ending the eighth grade, moving into high school next year. So that's that for that, I guess.
That's a goal. How about that? Well, good luck on the arm. It looked like you were maneuvering pretty good at the Christmas dinner, so keep up the good work for sure. All right. Next person is Dennis. Dennis, you were in my queue. Go.
Thank you, Gloria. Good morning, everybody. Good to see everybody. Dennis Duarte, BPAS, Workplace Retirement Solutions. As you can see by my newly remodeled office, I'm in the midst of a three-phase renovation in the house. All the ground floors tore up. So first time in 23 years that I will not be cooking holiday dinner, and I'll just be like everybody else, show up, fall asleep on the couch, eat, fall back asleep on the couch, and leave. No dinners, no dishes, and all that good stuff. So looking forward to that. Did that for Thanksgiving. I'm looking forward to Christmas. 25 is going to be an interesting year. I turned 60 in September. And I did so with the intention of making some significant changes once I hit 60. My work-life balance has always been 15 hours of work, 13 to 15 hours of work and whatever other life I can fit around that. And I've been working diligently over the last 6 months to correct that. So 25, I made a commitment. And Mark, you're again, apropos on the topic today. I've actually made my list of where work's going to be held to 6 to 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, and that's it. And it's amazing because it falls on this wonderful notion of essentialism. And if you never heard of essentialism, YouTube it because it gets you into a right mindset, particularly with work, because it talks about critical pathing. Gloria, thank you for the time to chat. I wish everybody a Merry Christmas if you celebrate. Happy holidays. And I look forward to doing more and seeing more of you in 25.
Dennis. So there we go. Okey doke. I'm looking. Alicia, you are next.
Hello, everyone. Nice to see everybody. It seems like it's been a while. For the holidays, I'm gonna rest and recover and probably do something social, but every day is like I carry around holiday spirit all year round, not really worried about that. I really like the Christmas lights decorated and the trees and everything, but it's all what happens inside. Um, so rest and recover mainly and focus on my getting my ducks in a row like Stacy. For next year, I'm starting with an accountability program. So what that means is people pay me like a monthly subscription or pay for a year, an annual plan, and then they'll get an email weekly with accountability. I call it Quick and Delish Life Cup. So it's about like sleep and reflections on sleep quality and nutrition and simple meal planning, just, socializing, having fun, seeking pleasure outside of food and all the other things. Mark seeks pleasure out of giving to his communities. Um, and a lot of times we're not taught like how to seek pleasure. So I'm trying to build foundations in people's lives, including hydration and simple things like that. We have lots of awesome innovations and technology out there in the world, but I don't think we're great at doing the following up with the basics on Earth. And so that's what the accountability program is about. And then I also have like a weekly like Zoom group that's on Thursday at 6:15, and that's starting in January. I'm continuing my Quick and Delish Live sessions, which is a once a month changing topic. And so just adding on to what I already have going on. And I'm going to build out my self-paced program like Ian, so I can sell that at any time to anybody. And the self-paced program now is Meal Planning Foundations. And I'm accepting new clients, of course. And so now I've been very successful accepting clients that are interested in committing for 6 months to a year at a time, which is really helpful because health and lifestyle is ongoing because the goal is to stay here, right? Not everybody's with us now, and the goal is to continue going. So I'm super grateful for this group, and I look forward to meeting some folks that I haven't met one-on-one in the next awesome year, as Mark said.
Thank you, Alicia. Billy, you are up. You're on mute.
Hello, good morning. My name is Billy Laudercoon. I am with New York Life and New York Life Securities. Yeah, it's been super crazy busy for me. I just went to a grand opening of a friend's restaurant, and I didn't know that I would be so mixed in business and personal. So right now I have my hands full with a lot of annuities that I'm doing. A lot of layoffs been happening, so a lot of people are rolling over their accounts and stuff like that. For the holidays, I am gonna spend it with family. My sister's house in Livermore. Beat all my nephews in chess. They keep trying to beat me every year, so I make sure they can't. Um, and then yeah, most likely gonna get a plane ticket somewhere out of here just to, get my mind right. We all need a little exit away from all the all the noise. And then for next year, be more affluent with personal helping in personal. I've been doing a lot of just business and a little bit of corporate, and that's fine and dandy. But I feel like getting back to the roots and helping family and friends, getting to the important things of why I got into the business in the first place, uh, yeah, would just make me overall more happy. Um, and then train more. I haven't been doing my kickboxing, so going back to kickboxing is a big thing for me as well.
Thank you so much. Knighton, you are up.
Hi, my name is Knighton, founder of Matabna. We help people who are moving sell their items by move out date. So actually next year, gonna be changing the name of the company to the Easy Sell. So once that happens, that's gonna be the name going forward. But yeah, got some big things going on next year. Probably the main goal is to sort of get my personal finances in order. I think I've been building a lot, but I haven't really thought about myself personally. So that's something that I'm definitely going to be working on to sort of get that a bit right as I get closer and as I get older and older. I realize that's something I need to fix up. So I'm gonna shore that up. And then for the holidays, well, right now I'm in Houston with family, so it's probably going to be the same thing. Gonna be with family. I'm kind of out of the Bay for a little bit, and I'll be back probably next year.
Awesome. We're looking forward to you coming back for sure. We miss you. Jim Bennett, it's so great to see you. The cowboy from Montana.
Yeah, Montana Jim, here I am. Hey, it's good to see you all. I've missed recent meetings. My game plan for next year is to plan ahead and work on specific goals to meet the people in the Bay Area that I network with. To get down there, if not once a month, every 2 months, and have a good networking session, pick out the times of the meetings and dinners and so forth. See people like that smiley Craig Adams. He looked like a movie star, doesn't he? See that Craig's picture, that smile? I don't know which movie star it looks like. And Christmas is going to be with them. That's why I'm in Montana. I got a son and daughter and their family and all their extended family. And that's why I came here and I enjoy being here. I go 5 days a week to a coffee group that's a bunch of old farts that are basically retired, that are old business network partners. So I'm happy to see you all. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Jen, you're next in queue.
Me, Jen?
Yes, yes.
Fantastic. There's a lot of Jennifers in the world, so I always check to be sure. When Ed said there was a special guest, I kind of thought it was going to be Santa. Um, but I'm so happy that it was Mark, and it's a great reminder to make sure that you're organized. My business, the Edna Collective, is jewelry custom design and redesign and appraisals. And Q1, Mark, thumbs up, is already planned. And the thing that I did for myself that's going to move 2025 forward is I have a part-time virtual admin, kind of a big step to hire another person for my little business, but it's working so far. So we have a lot on the books and a lot going forward. The thing that I'm going to launch as a new service is a organize your own jewelry as a workbook, or a downloadable. And that's about halfway through. That should launch Q2. But I'm looking forward to building more business, chatting with people, more clients. I've been getting a lot of referrals from everybody everywhere. So thank you so much. I felt like it was a pretty good year.
Thank you, Jen. Tiffany, you are in my queue. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm Tiffany. I'm a virtual assistant, and a personal assistant. I do in-person and virtual. Um, I think this year I am taking time to reset. So the family's going to Tahoe and I'm staying behind. I'm also attending a few conferences next year that will benefit my business and to help it grow.
Welcome. Are you new? Is this your first time
This
to
is my
be in?
second time.
Your second time. Okay,
Yes.
welcome.
Thank you.
Cindy, you are up.
Okay, trying to get my video on, and I'm on the wrong way today. Sorry,
Short and sweet.
I think I'm nurturing a cold, so I'm a little off. Um, One thing I have to say about goals that Mark didn't talk about is you should really have five, but you should have some in your personal development, your spiritual development, and your work development. And you should look at them and see how they interrelate. One of the big things that happened to me this year is a friend wanted me to sponsor. She's on a board and she's retired. She wanted me to sponsor an event. And it was like, it was $1,000, which for me is not a big deal. But I didn't know the company. I didn't know the organization. It wasn't something I supported. It wasn't something I valued. So what I sat down and did was figured out what I value and really why I do what I do, which is really, really helpful in trying to figure out your goals. I mean, I've done it before, but this time I was really clear. Do I care about some museum that rich people hang out in and board argues? No, I care about homelessness, food problems, domestic violence. And those are the places where I want to put my energy in the volunteer department. Let's see, what am I doing in 25? In 25, I'm still threatening to finish my website by redesign. Don't laugh, Mark. And and then my next big step is starting to do some videos. I think my marketing on LinkedIn and Facebook are fine. Don't know if I've got, I mean, I've hired someone to do a lot of data input to get my, what you call it, database, like Ed's always talking about, getting enough people that you drip on. And I recently got a referral or a call from somebody who found me on the internet. Didn't dig down to figure out where, but it happens every so often, and I'm really excited that that happened. For the holidays, my son's coming in from the East Coast, and he will be with me for a week. So it's a bunch of family activities, and I'm cooking for Christmas, which seems like I'm always cooking for holidays. Thank God I enjoy most of it. And this holiday, I get to spread it out because I make everybody bring something. It's too hard to cook for 20 people. So I think that's
Sounds like
that's it.
sounds like you're it sounds like you're going to be a busy girl, so that's good.
Yeah, I can't afford to get sick. I got to start. I have to take all all the stuff all the herbs to not get sick.
Exactly. Zicam is a wonder drug, trust me. Okay, Craig, last but not least,
All
hit it.
right. You guys will have to be satisfied with my avatar this morning, and my camera's on the fritz. But yeah, I love planning. I love goal setting. So I'm really looking forward to cracking down on that over the holidays. One thing that I did achieve in 2024 is I just came out with my first book, and I put a link in the chat if anyone's interested in that. It was a great